Kia ora and welcome back to the CouchSide Sports Report for another episode.
Yay.
Of the CouchSide Sports Report. Repeating myself, I'm Simon, that's Dylan.
Yep.
Episode 38 is coming out December 2nd. We have reached December, which is crazy. This year's gone very, very quick, and for basically the entirety of this year, we've been doing this little podcast as well.
Yeah, pretty much.
Started us in February, it's now December. We haven't given up just yet. I mean, we have both invested quite a bit of money into keeping this off the ground with not really anything coming back in return, but...
Well, we say that, we've had in terms of like stuff we've uploaded, we've had a good streak of shorts.
Oh, yeah.
I think our last either 2 or 3, maybe even 4 shorts have reached over 1K views.
Yeah, thank you, everyone.
Which is awesome. So, So thank you for that. Unfortunately, my Steelers short came quite to fruition today.
Yeah.
But no, it is awesome. We've also had a couple of our shorter segments reach over 100 views.
Yeah,
some over 200. So, it's a grind. It's a process.
Yeah.
But I'm glad I'm in the process, not only with you, but just out there talking some sport. So
the process sounding like
Joel Embiid, is it?
Well, who was the CEO at the time who kept on saying trust the process?
It was Sam Hinkie.
Sam Hinkie.
Yeah.
I used to get him and Sam Presti mixed up when they were essentially almost doing the same thing.
I was about to say, yeah.
But Hinkie, the team was just awful.
Yeah, for Hinkie it did not work out.
Well,
but for Presti, it seems to have worked out.
Yeah, but we'll talk about the NBA a bit later.
We will.
Not as much on the agenda as usual. Obviously, rugby union in New Zealand is over for the year.
Yeah.
So we won't be talking about that for a while. However, should be coming out with an additional sports report this week. Basically an All Blacks review. It's been a very interesting season for the All Blacks. So we'll go over all of it from the French series at the beginning of the year, which felt like it was an eternity ago, to the Northern Tour tests, where in all honesty, we only lost one. Everyone obviously looking for the rugby championship, what could have improved, and obviously looking into next year and seeing what we are expecting to happen and what we want to happen and how we think it's going to happen. But we're still going to kick off with rugby, because while rugby union's finished off in New Zealand for the year, the rugby 7 season has just kicked off. But before we get into that, please follow us on Instagram and TikTok at couchside.network. And if you haven't already, follow this podcast here on either Spotify or subscribe to it on YouTube, depending where you're listening. And also check out all the shorts here on YouTube, on Facebook, on TikTok, TikTok, Instagram, everywhere we post them. Go check them out, share them with your friends, and also comment below if you have an opinion to share on that video. We love it when you guys comment down. We read a couple of them last week. And
as long as they're not, attacking somebody.
Oh, no.
Opinions you have to respect. So
exactly. Free speech but not hate speech. That's all what that's what
we
practice here. But as I said earlier, Dubai Sevens, the kicks off the World Rugby World 7 Series. I think it's just called Sevens now. I remember watching it back in the day when there was way more teams and way more comps, when I was like 12, 13, 14, loving it. Yeah. Especially when Wellington still had the Sevens. But it has gone through quite a lot of change. I still
remember when Hamilton had the Sevens.
That was after Wellington.
That popped off.
Yeah, I think it popped off at first, and then they all got a bit bored of it, as they do.
No, do you know what happened?
Oh, wait, no, yeah.
They banned alcohol.
Yeah, that's right. I think they also
that stopped people from coming to Hamilton real quick.
I think that happened at Wellington as well, and that's why it left. But Sevens has gone through a lot of budget cuts, a lot of team cuts. There's only a handful of teams in the comps now, but New Zealand's still involved, and both the men's and the women's teams were taking part at Seven Stadium in Dubai to start off the 7 series for 25-26. And a very, very good start. Both the men's and the women's team taking the first tournaments in their respective competitions. Yep. You watched these finals, or one of these finals?
Yeah, so I watched the men's one, and I think it ended up being 26-14.
That's a decent score
but it was quite close.
Yeah.
Most of the time. It was only a young, I think his last name was Keelan, that scored the try for us to end the game. Just took a gap he saw, and
that's
he was
what you
gone.
do in sevens.
Yeah, man. But no, like it was good to see our men's team, which has been in a transition phase, I would say for at least the past 2 years, get this win to start the year. But also, I mean, our women's team was so elite, bro. Now Braxton Sorensen McGee's playing for the women's sevens.
It's quite.
What are you going to do?
It's a crazy just combination of talent. A lot of I think we kind of forget how many of the players in the Black Ferns team at the World Cup were sevens players. Like Georgia Miller.
Who's playing sevens?
Who's playing sevens?
Stacey Walker, who's playing sevens.
There's other names on that team.
Yeah, man.
I think they won the whole thing last year as well.
Reese Pody Lane.
That's right.
There you go. She playing come on.
They'll be, I think, they'll be one of the big favourites to win it all once again.
Yep.
And I think the men's team, hopefully an improved year. I don't even think they finished in the top 3, top 4 last year.
No.
Argentina took it out.
Yes. Yes, they did.
I think the All Black Sevens will be hoping to.
Yeah, can they keep it consistent is the real question there for them. Can they do it? Over the last 2 years, they haven't proved it, so we'll see what happens.
And also keep in mind, sevens is an Olympic sport. We are still a little bit away from the next Olympics, but they'll be hoping to build towards that slowly but
next
surely.
Next one, 2028?
2028, LA, if LA is still standing. That will be interesting for this. I think the women's team will definitely have a star-studded team. I'm sure the men's will as well. I don't think we'll have any, like in the past, we've had 15s players convert to play sevens. I think that really only happened in 2016, and it was really only Sonny Bill Williams. But we'll see what happens come 2028, what the vibes are, what everyone's goals are with rugby. But off to the Cape Town for the next sevens competition.
Good start, though.
Good start.
And can I just say, even on the screen, it looked deadly hot.
Oh, yeah, well, it's Dubai.
I know, but like...
Even if it's November, December, it's still hot.
It was deadly hot.
It is very hot there. Yeah. And I've recently been to Brisbane in November, and it's really hot there. I cannot imagine how hot it is in Dubai, in the desert.
I went to the Gold Coast in July, and it was 24 degrees consistently. Yeah. Crazy.
That's that's the first time I went to the Gold Coast as well.
Yeah, because we're from Auckland here in Aotearoa, New Zealand, it's like you'll get 4 seasons in one day. Oh, yeah. It's very mild. You go over to Australia, Dubai, which is worse, stuff like that, man, it's always hot.
It's always hot. It's always hot. But that's the sevens. We'll be talking about Cape Town sevens when it happens. I'm not sure if it's next week or in a couple of weeks.
I think it's a couple of weeks away. They usually put it in 2 weeks apart.
It's definitely this year, because I always remember Dubai and Cape Town kicking off a year, and then eventually it came to Wellington. Yes. And I think it goes to Perth after that. And I think the women's series deviates slightly, but that could not be. But that might be old news now. I think they might all do it in the same comps now.
But hopefully our Kiwi teams can keep it rolling.
Yeah, I'd love to see us do the double, win both comps. We used to do that in the past all the time. Hopefully we can do it again, because I think it's been a while. The men's team, I think, got caught up with other teams like Argentina. Obviously, Fiji are always good. South Africa are very good. The United States, brilliant at sevens. So we'll have to wait and see if we can hold it down consistently, but you only need a few tournament wins.
Shout out to the women's team holding it down for New Zealand. New Zealand sevens. Elite all the time. It's crazy how they do it.
Good to start off with some positivity for New Zealand international sports as we move on to the A-League. And the Wellington Phoenix managed to get their first win in a little bit at home against Adelaide 2-1, currently in 6th place. But for Auckland FC, it was a result where it didn't go to plan. An early goal conceded. Vestrade brings it up.
It was pissing down as well.
Yeah, I was getting to that. 15 minutes, and then Newcastle score again to make it 2-1. And then the heavens just decided to pour all the water in the world onto Auckland. It was literally a monsoon. The ball was not moving the way it should be. It was Michael Vald's penalty area in the second half was basically a pond. He almost got caught out right at the end. He tried to throw the ball to a defender, and it got stuck in the water. The Newcastle defender basically got a foot to it to try and shoot it, but Vald somehow recovered it and didn't get carded or fouled. So it was not a great day at the office for Auckland. Obviously, the weather played a part at the end of being able to do anything progressive, because Auckland had chances upon chances upon chances
about to say.
before the weather really came crashing down.
Yeah.
It's a bit of reflecting definitely for Auckland because, you know, they were a very dominant team last year. They're still a pretty good team.
Yeah.
And they are going to lose the occasional game. It's very hard in any football league to go completely, you know, not just go undefeated, not even win all your games. It's very, very difficult.
Yeah.
And they've got players out injured. Mai didn't play in this game, or if he did, he got injured early on. Sakai was still not involved.
Yep.
So still a lot to be desired for Auckland, but they got a big test coming up.
They do.
This weekend. It's the derby once again, but Auckland hosts this time around. First in Wellington Phoenix, 5 p.m. on Saturday. If you haven't got your ticket, go get your tickets. But watch it if you aren't going, because it's going to be an electric game. Auckland will be hoping to match the 6-1 derby result from the last time it was in Auckland, but I have a feeling that's not going to happen.
It reminded, when I watched a little bit, like some highlight somewhere of the game, and when I was looking at it, we play, I think we've talked about this before, we play on a five-a-side football team. He happened to be away for the game that I'm talking about, but it was the exact same thing. It was monsooning rain, and where we play, as you know, is, yes, it's on turf, but it's in a net. It's not really in like an indoor thing, which I'm kind of glad it's not. It was pissing down the entire time. I'm like wringing out my shirt, not from sweat, no, from the rain. But boy, I tell you what, it was so much fun.
It is.
It was so much fun.
It's always a good time in the rain. But Auckland currently in third, the Knicks in sixth. That will be a massive game to watch. The Phoenix will be hoping to at least grab their first points of a derby, as they've lost every single game to Auckland FC they have played. They did score early on in the last derby, which Auckland had scored earlier than that. But still could not score against 9 men for 20 minutes. They'll be really, I think, thinking of that and realizing we don't want that to happen again. We're going to go all out, and I think they're slowly getting all their pieces back together. So it's going to be a great game. Wellington will want a result, but Auckland won't want to lose that undefeated record against the Knicks at home.
Absolutely.
So it will be a great game.
It will be. And
moving on to more domestic sports, and this is all a bit of you, Mr. Dylan Courtney. We got the Tauihi women's basketball Aotearoa and the Tall Blacks. You're gonna.
I'll cover both.
You'll cover both for us because it was the last regular season round of Tauihi women's basketball Aotearoa, and the Tall Blacks don't play so often, so this is a pretty big occasion.
It is. So we'll go with the Tauihi women's basketball Aotearoa first. It was their last regular season round. So to end it off, the mainland Pokai put the thumping on the Northern Kahu, which, to be fair, everybody has done this year. 102-62. The Tauranga Five pull out what ended up, which is quite a huge win, against the Southern Hoiho, 93-84. And then the Northern Kahu once again go down to the Tokomanawa Queens, 88-72. Now they go into the semi-finals. There's 5 teams. The Northern Kahu, who I think only either won 1 or 2 games, is out. So you've got the Tokomanawa Queens taking on the Tauranga Whai, and the Mainland Pokai taking on the Southern Hoiho in a Southern Classic.
Your favourite.
And that's the semis that are happening this coming Sunday.
I wonder how
this coming weekend. Sorry.
I wonder what leagues we could sponsor and for how much. Whenever the two South Island teams or any South Island teams play each other, we get to call it the CouchSide Dylan Courtney
Southern Classic.
Because every single time
we better keep working then to get our platform up.
Because for some reason it could be two northern teams playing against each other, and you won't say it, but it could be Nelson versus Invercargill, Canterbury versus Queenstown, could be anything. And this man right here, we'll call it a Southern Classic.
Because I feel like Southern Classic rolls off the tongue a little bit better.
And I guess it does help when there's typically only 2 to 4 teams from the South Island in any comp. But it's really funny. I think when you were doing it in the NBL and there'd be 2 in the same week. And it's like, hey, it could be 2 completely different teams.
Honestly, and you know this, there'll be times where I'll just make up something to do with the 2 teams and call it the something classic. It's just funny. I find it funny.
I'm pretty sure one occasion you said the Southern Classics and one of the team wasn't even in the South Island, but I might be wrong there.
That would sound like something I would do. Even though I'm not too bad with the geography.
No, you're not very bad at all.
But I actually do know somebody that plays on the Southern Hoiho, which is pretty cool. So and actually, I know somebody that plays on the Tauranga Whai as well. So there you go.
Not Cruz, I assume.
No, not on the women's at least.
No.
Those will both be great games. I'll be honest with you. I do think the Tokomanawa Queens will beat the Tauranga Whai. The other game, the Southern Classic, is actually quite even in my opinion.
It might be a good game.
We'll see what happens. Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Can the Tauranga Whai pull off the odds? I assume it's just a one-off game, no playoff series.
Yeah, that I know of. Yeah, absolutely. Cool. So we'll move on to the Tall Blacks, who are now in their first of 6 windows for the FIBA World Cup qualifiers. So they're in Group A, which unfortunately for us has Australia.
But it won't be the top team go. It'll be the top 2 or 3 teams.
I think it's the top 3.
We'll be,
yeah, exactly.
We'll
so it's
be
the 3.
fine.
I think it's the 3.
Considering the 2 other teams that we are facing next up, I think we'll be good.
Well, yeah. So you've got Australia in our group, us, and then you've got the Philippines and Guam. Philippines, don't underestimate.
No, can't underestimate.
Love the Filipinos here. Love Filipinos here, especially that play basketball.
If you want an introduction into Filipino basketball, look up Australia versus Philippines 2019 fight. You will not look at the Philippines team the same ever again. Because I remember seeing that and being like, Jesus Christ. And the funniest thing about that whole thing is that it was played in the world's biggest arena, which is owned by a church, must be the Philippines, and it sits 55,000 people.
Crazy.
Arena, indoor arena, bigger than Eden Park. And it was built by a church for church ceremonies, but they host basketball games because they can.
That's Philippines, man. I love it. I absolutely love it.
Shout out to all our Filipino lovers and supporters. Man. RJ, that's for you, my guy.
RJ, my brother, that's for you. It's also for Denzel. But not necessarily for Denzel, but his girlfriend Jess is Filipino. She's actually in the Philippines at the moment.
Oh, wow.
So Denzel, if you ever listen to this, which I know you're not, shout out to you. RJ, you're my brother, man. Let's go. But yeah, so the Tall Blacks are playing Australia first in 2 games. Now, Australia doesn't have their NBA players, of course.
No, and neither do we.
And our one NBA player won't play for us. But we did actually have a really, really close game in that one. So we went down to Australia 84-79 in the first game. We do play Australia again. This has been recorded on a Monday. They're playing at 7 p.m. tonight. So when this comes out, it'll be 7 p.m. yesterday.
So look it up on Google or some shit.
Yeah, exactly. But we do take on the Philippines on the 27th of Feb. And we also have Guam in our group. And which actually features our former New Zealand breaker and former champion with us, Mr. Ty Wesley.
As a coach or as a player?
No, as a player. He's still playing.
Is he not a Kiwi?
No.
Oh, he's from... he's probably American.
He's American with Guam heritage.
Although, international basketball is one of those weird sports where they allow, essentially, countries to give players passports.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what Australia's trying to do with Bryce Cotton, and I think they might have already done it.
No, but Bryce Cotton actually lived in Australia. You have players who play for like Lebanon and Iraq in basketball. They've never lived there. Yeah,
that's very good point.
Ty Wesley could genuinely. He's represented Guam on numerous occasions.
Yeah.
So he must. He lived in Guam from the age of 5 to 11 while his father worked at the University of Guam. He's a Utah boy. So
there you go.
He's actually of Samoan and of Rotterdam descent.
Yes,
which is not really something you see a lot of in professional sports. So it's really cool to see. But there's a whole bunch of random NBA players, like fringe NBA players who've played for random FIBA teams.
Absolutely.
Like if they've all been, it's all the Middle Eastern teams, and you go,
yes,
they're not, they can't play for them. Because I know Jordan Clarkson plays for the Philippines and top comps, I think.
Yeah.
Because he's actually got Filipino heritage, I'm pretty sure.
Yep.
But I'll see if I can look it up.
That's like Andre Blatch. Remember Andre Blatch? He plays for the Philippines. I'm not sure if he still does. I think he's actually retired now. But also, South Korea has a guy who actually changed his name to a South Korean name, but he's American. And then I know Jordan has got another guy that also changed his name that's American as well. So... Yeah, it is kind of weird like that. With basketball, I think of it more like if you get the citizenship from the place, you can actually play for the place.
Yeah, but
in a sense.
But I think they just thought if you hold the passport, you can play for it because I can only find a Eurobasket list. But there are
funnily enough, FIBA eligibility rules have quite chop and changed over the years.
Yeah.
But there you go. But so
Kendrick Perry.
Yeah.
Do you know who Kendrick Perry is?
That sounds like a familiar name.
So this is Kendrick Perry.
Yes.
This is a guy.
He plays for Montenegro, eh?
He plays for the Montenegro.
Yes.
My man was born in Florida.
Yeah, that's right.
And I don't know if he actually may have moved there. He played for the Sydney Kings, his first pro gig.
Yeah,
was
he
the
did.
Sydney Kings about 10 years ago.
Has he played for a Montenegrin team?
That's what I'm actually trying to
Is that
find.
what you call Montenegrin? Oh,
Yeah, no, Montenegro.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see if he has. He's played for a lot of teams in Europe. He played for a team. His first European adventure was in Hungary.
Yes.
He's been to Macedonia, so nearby.
Yep.
He's been to
Very close.
Hungary.
Yep.
That's a Russian team. That's a French team because Wemby used to play on that team.
But there you go.
He's played in
Metropolitan.
Metropolitans.
Yeah.
No, I don't think he's actually ever played in Montenegro, but he's played for Montenegro. But I remember seeing some really funny. I think it was mostly like teams playing for like Middle Eastern teams.
Yeah,
and I was like,
absolutely.
You're not from Lebanon or Iraq, but I love it. I love the opportunity to play international basketball.
Yeah, it does.
Basketball's international sport in general. Basketball's one of the funnier, well, not funnier, but more interesting examples where they don't care about residency or heritage as much. If you have the passport, you can play, but they do limit the amount of players who are only on passports.
Yes,
because then Qatar would probably have the All-Star team from 15 years ago playing.
Yeah, true.
You probably would have seen players like who were like guys who maybe made an All-Star game like once, but were never going to play for Team USA, like Kyle Korver. Who's like James Johnson or some shit.
Yeah,
like,
you could.
Guys like that. I'm just thinking about Atlanta Hawks 2014.
Karl Anthony Towns actually plays for the Dominican Republic.
He's got Dominican heritage.
Al Horford, I think, also plays for the Dominican Republic.
But he was born there, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he also married Miss Dominican Republic for the Miss Universe.
If you're one of the best Dominican-born players of all time, you might, you might
think.
Well.
Yeah, but there you go.
Dominican power couple right there.
Exactly.
Evan, you're going to say his cousin is Vlad Guerrero Jr.
No.
Brilliant.
I'm actually going to double check.
You can double check that, but we're actually all done with the local sport.
We are.
Unless I can think of anything off the top of my head, which I can't. So I'll swiftly move along to international sport while Dylan does this very important bit of research about Al Horford's wife.
That sounds so bad.
No, it doesn't. It's not that bad. But the penultimate F1 Grand Prix has happened, and it did not answer who's going to win the championship. In fact, it's complicated it even more. Sprint race saw Oscar Piastri take the top spot, with George Russell second, Lando Norris third, and the Red Bulls taking fourth and fifth, and the Williams 8th and 10th. But qualifying for the main races where it gets interesting, and do you have an update on
Yes, I do.
On Al Horford's wife?
Yes, she is from the Dominican Republic. At the age of 18, she won the Miss Universe 2003 pageant, becoming the first ever Miss Universe from the Dominican Republic.
The more you know.
So there
Miss
you go.
Universe facts. We'll cover the next one next year, because I know the latest one just happened. It's not on our prep sheet. But in qualifying, Oscar Piastri, who was third in the Drivers' Championship and had been in the lead for quite some time, took pole, while his teammate Lando Norris, who is currently in the championship lead, was second, Max Verstappen in third, and both Mercedes in fourth and fifth, Hadjar in sixth, for Clerk in 10th, and Liam Lawson in 12th. That's qualifying. But in the race itself, it's a bit crazy. 4 DNFs, and Max Verstappen takes, I think that's his 5th win in a row. It's a lot of wins in a row for him, making a late charge for the title. Oscar Piastri finishes in second, and Carlos Sainz gets on the podium for Williams. In fact, Ferrari signed Lewis Hamilton, and he gets no podium so far this season, and the man they fired to hire Lewis Hamilton has 2. So I don't know if you made the right call.
I will say, like, a shout out to Williams, who have been the like, let's call them, I hate putting it in this term, but bottom feeders for quite a few years. And they've got 2 quality drivers now. I think they locked in either 4th or 5th spot in the Drivers' Championship this year. They've put in work.
This has been a long time coming. When they were getting from strength to strength, it was just a slow build, and they got more trust with drivers. And now look at them; they're doing very well.
They have 2 quality drivers.
And when everything changes upside down next year with car regulations, it'll be very interesting to see where everyone ends up.
Yeah, true.
And they'll have 2 very good drivers there to hopefully take them further than they have been. But
yeah, very true.
Apart from that, Liam Lawson gets into the points, finishing 9th, and Yuki Tsunoda finishes 10th. You don't actually say where Lando finishes here. I assume he's
Lando
4th or
finished 4th.
But with the last race of the season next week in Abu Dhabi, 2:30 a.m. on Monday, wake up for it because it'll be a good time. Lando Norris leads the Drivers' Championship with 408 points. Max Verstappen is just 12 points behind them, 396, and Oscar Piastri has 392. There are viable scenarios for all three men to walk away with the Drivers' Championship. Yep. In my head, the funniest one is if Oscar Piastri somehow wins it after being in the lead, choking it, and then Max not winning it all, but Lando still choking and Oscar getting it. I think it'd be very, very funny.
That would be very funny. Can I be honest with you? I just for the story, I want to see Max win this shit.
Yeah, it means that Max would have won 5 in a row, equaling or beating Lewis's record. No, Lewis's record was 4 in a row. Yeah. So he would beat Lewis's record of 4 in a row, and he'd match. I think Schumacher got 5 in a row at his peak.
I think
it would match Schumacher. It would beat Lewis, and it would probably stand Max very firmly in the debate for probably being the greatest F1 driver of all time. Which I think it's really Schumacher. You have the hardest task of debating about, and with Hamilton, it's almost like he's very close to Hamilton as of now, and if he wins this, I think you'd say
is Lewis affected though because he's still driving? If he had, let's say, if he had,
I don't think he is.
Yeah. Let's say he retired after the season he lost to Max.
I don't think that changes it at all. I know in some sports where you try to do it for so long, it does hinder it. But I think in Lewis's case, like he still won a ridiculous amount, 7 or 8.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like
I think it's 8.
I think it's 8. Like, well, actually, no. I think it's maybe Max still has a lot to catch on Lewis in terms of total championships.
Total title. Yeah.
I recant what I just said about him being the GOAT. I think he's very firmly, like, very much talking.
I think if he pulls this off, he should be. I think he should be in the conversation.
But obviously, at the same time, championships don't mean everything. But this is it would be one of the most dominant 5-year stretches, plus one where it all was seemingly going wrong, and you somehow recovered and brought it back, even if it was a little bit of McLaren's own wrongdoing and their own fault, and all of the issues plaguing Red Bull this year with Christian Horner and everything else, not being able to have a second driver.
But that's what would make it such an incredible story.
It would, and I think, and if Max would somehow win it again next year, then you go, okay. Because you can't just say, the person with the most championships in any sport is the best. In an individual sport, though, it does make sense compared to a team sport like the LeBron and Michael Jordan debate. People going 6 versus 4. And it's like, well, Michael Jordan played in the 90s, but the competition was not as good. And LeBron, different types of competitions.
You could say different. I personally hate when somebody makes that argument that the competition is not as good. You could argue that the competition didn't have the technology that this competition has. Yeah. And that would have made them better back in the days. I personally, I don't like that.
But then you do see some clips of, the average opponent, Michael Jordan, did have the face, and you go, okay, cool. I forgot what it was trending earlier in the year. I think, what was it called? People were saying this like one sentence. Like, it was like release the tapes or something. It was like, I think it was something like that, or like actually watching the footage of, the super physical 90s basketball games and people being a little bit let down. But we're getting off track here because we're talking about F1. So it's on in Abu Dhabi.
Abu Dhabi is on.
It's on 2:30 Monday morning. Go and watch it. I will try to wake up for it. The last time I woke up for Abu Dhabi, I think, was 2021 when Max overtook Lewis on the final lap and won his first championship.
Yep.
So speaking of basketball, though, NBA weekly recap. Dylan, you're going to lead this one off, but I'm going to chirp with something after you talk about this.
Yes, you are. So, NBA weekly recap. We're going to get a intro on that at some point.
We'll get the Inside the NBA theme.
Yeah, true. Very true.
Who's Shaq? Who's Charles? Who's in this situation? Who's Kenny?
Oh, I'm Charles Barkley in any situation, mate.
Yeah, I think you might be. I'm probably Ernie, honestly. I'm probably Ernie. I'm the most calm one, I'm the most, maybe a bit of Kenny, but no, I'd be Kenny because Kenny eggs on Charles all the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, and I egg you on.
Yeah, you definitely do.
And then tell you to shut up.
Getting
so it's
me in
probably
trouble,
me.
you
Yeah.
bastard.
That's my job.
Yeah, no, all I'm thinking now is those memes on TikTok and Instagram Reels where it's like top 5 Ernie Black moments.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. Oh, man. Yeah, those crack me up every time. But the NBA, yeah, let's get into it, man. I mean, still the Pistons at the top of the East at 16-4 and the Thunder at 19-1.
You laughed at me.
Here we go again.
You laughed at me. Hey, I don't think they're going 69-13 anymore. I think they're going. I think they're realistically going 76-6.
All right.
I think the Thunder are going to end up 76-6. It's going to be the greatest regular season team of all time. And the thing is, they've been playing these first almost 20 games without a top 20 player in the NBA in Jalen Williams. He's now back. That's not fair. That's not fair. You can not have one of your second best player after Shea, who's considered a top 20, 25 player in the league. You're already 19-1, and now he's back. It's a bit ridiculous, but I'll let you keep on going about.
Oh man! I'll tell you what. If they go 76-6 and I'm on here, a fair play. I don't think it's happening though.
No,
but they are
81-1,
still 19-1 and top of the West. But we also do have the last 8 now of the NBA Cup. Out east, it's the Magic, Raptors, and Knicks. Your Raptors.
Up the Raptors, baby.
With the Heat as the wild card team.
Yes.
And then out of the West is the Thunder, Lakers, and Spurs with the Suns, surprisingly, as the wild card team.
No was, bro.
No Warriors. Especially, let's not talk about the Warriors. So pretty much now in each conference, 1 plays 4 and 2 plays 3 in each conference in the quarterfinals. And then the quarterfinals start, at least here in New Zealand, on the 11th of December, but it's the 10th of December.
So that's next week, Thursday.
Yeah, next week, Thursday. There you go. And then the biggest game of this week, at least to us or to me, was the Pistons versus the Heat, where the Pistons won 138-135. Now,
high scoring affair.
Basketball References current top 10 in the MVP race, Simon.
Yes.
You said it was a ridiculous list.
I'm not ridiculous. Just a couple of names I see them. I'm like, whoa! Like I know they're playing good, but top 10 in an MVP.
Let's rock them.
Because this was posted by NBA Central on Twitter, and I just had to make sure and realize that I wasn't actually accidentally reading out a Centel post. It's not an NBA Centel post.
Okay, let's go. Let's run this list,
Twitter
man.
account. So top 10 in 10th, you have Philadelphia 76ers guard Tyrese Maxey. Makes sense.
Personally, I'd put him higher.
Yeah.
With the way he's playing. Let's see who the players are.
I think there's a couple of other players on this list where
he's playing
you'd probably
freaking
chop
great.
and shame him. I know he's been brilliant.
Yeah.
Number 9 is another guy who's made the absolute step up this year for the Detroit Pistons, Jalen Duren.
Yes.
He's been excellent.
Oh, as one of my favorite. I can't remember what the TikTok account is called, but the way he says it, the Sim God, Jalen Duren.
And also,
has been a beast in the paint.
He's been brilliant at taking that step up that a lot of players just think they're going to take, but he's done it. And
he's the center I wish the Warriors had right now. Athletic, runs the floor.
He's the center everyone
stuff
wants.
Like that.
You know.
And he's actually, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I say this, people, this is in the context of basketball and centers. He's only 6'9".
And for a center, that's, considered a bit undersized.
Did the Pistons find their Ben Wallace of the 2020s? Let's see what happens.
Great comp.
Yeah.
In 8 is a guy who's been dragging one of the smaller market teams kicking and screaming this year. It's Milwaukee's Giannis Antetokounmpo. He's only just came back from injury.
From injury, yes. The way he started this year, he should be number 1.
Yeah.
If he plays like that, he should be number 1.
If the Bucks,
since he's been injured, I get it.
If the Bucks don't improve with him back, could we see him potentially leave? And where does he end up? It will be nuts. At 7 is another European player, and it's the Houston Rockets' Alperen Sengun, who has been, he just keeps on improving.
Yeah, he's been great.
Maybe,
don't get me wrong.
Maybe he's slightly higher up on this list than some people would have him, but I think to call him top 10 in MVP.
I think that's fair.
In the MVP tracker right now. At 6, this is the first player I saw and went, okay, this is why this is going to be a great NBA season. And he's not the last player who I'd mention being in that category. And it's an Oklahoma City Thunder player. But it's not Shea yet. It's Isaiah Hartenstein.
Wow.
Yeah, averaging about 12 and 10 at the moment, starting at centre.
I wouldn't. Hartenstein plays a great role for the Thunder. Don't get me wrong. And he's also German guy as well, so he's a European.
Yeah, German American. Yeah.
German American. Yeah, but I would. If he's going to be in the top 10, I would have him at 10. I would have Duran above him.
I think you'd say Duran and even Maxey would be ahead of him.
Yeah.
But he's been sensational for them.
Yeah, he plays a fantastic role there. MVP role, though, not so sure.
But judging by this, you'd say he's a second team All-Leaguer. To consider this, if you consider the top...
A second team All-Leaguer? Yeah, second or third team? Yeah,
if you consider the 6 to 10 being second team All-League and 1 to 5 being first team All-League, roughly. I think there's maybe too many guards in the top 5. But you have Maxey, and then there's like no other guard here. You have Antetokounmpo, Sengun, Hartenstein, Duran. But if you have a look at the top 5, and we start with a very obvious name here. The other Detroit Piston on this is Kay Cunningham.
Amazing. And he's taken another step up as well.
A lot of people probably, they thought he'd taken a massive step up last year.
Yeah.
He's gone and blown that out of the water already. Detroit are top of the East for a reason. And him, Duran, and all the other pieces on that Pistons team.
Yeah, they're working, man. Ron Holland over there, he's putting in work.
And
they're building a great young team there, man.
And now
it's cool to see because they've been down the dumps for a while.
Oh, yeah, and it's great to see a team who's been in the dumps come back up with their own players, like Cunningham
they
and
drafted Duran, they
both,
drafted Cunningham,
both at the same time, both, it's great to see. The next player is first, I'm not going to say the team, although this might spoil me saying that. He's the first of 2 players on this team. It's the one and only Austin Reeves on the LA Lakers, and he has been balling out.
He has been balling out.
White kid from Arkansas.
Not that high.
No. But
Luka Doncic better be above him, by the way. That better be the other name.
I mean, who else would it be?
Yeah, exactly. So I would have Luka there. I would not... Like Hartenstein. Reeves has played great, don't get me wrong.
I think he's maybe high. He's definitely higher than Hartenstein on the list. I think...
I'm not sure I'd have him higher than Maxey.
Maybe it's the LA effect. Maybe it's the fact he's next to players like Luka and LeBron. He's in a big market in LA. But he is matching, I did see, it's his 5th year in the NBA, and he's matching the points per game of Kobe Bryant in his 5th year in the NBA. But someone did point out that Kobe in his 5th year in the NBA was 23. Austin Reeves was 23 in his first season in the NBA.
Yeah.
So he does have the age advantage on him there, but he's still playing sensational. For a guy who
he's playing fantastic.
Undrafted, am I correct in saying
that? Either undrafted or second round.
Yeah. Very big steal.
I feel like though him being in that list is more like a cool name. If you get what I mean, he's playing fantastic.
Like I say, Hartenstein,
he's playing fantastic, but A-Rev, like not that high for me, but he is playing fantastic.
Oh yeah.
I just from the Lakers team now, it would be Luka that's on that MVP list for me, not Austin Reeves. And for the Thunder, I would rather have, for me personally, I'd probably rather put Chet at 10.
Yeah.
Rather than Hartenstein. But both those guys, Hartenstein especially, plays an elite role.
Yeah.
And honestly, in professional basketball, and especially the NBA, it's given Steven Adams a career. It's given many guys a career playing a role.
Players.
Play a role, man, and you can be a star playing your role, and that's what Hartenstein and Reeves are both doing. They're playing awesome.
Well, speaking of the LA Lakers, that number 3 is Luka Doncic, who is averaging some insane numbers on some incredibly efficient shooting.
Yep.
He's just unfortunate that the 2 guys ahead of him just happen to be playing in the league at the same time as him in the same form.
Yes.
And I think it was always going to be the 2 players at number 2, or the 3 players at number 3. I think a lot of people will try and claim Luka can still win MVP. I'm pretty sure I said I think Luka was going to win MVP this year. I think if the Lakers, because they're a 2nd seed right now, if they establish themselves as a 2nd seed, because no one's catching OKC, then possibly. But then again, who's the best player on the team?
I was about to say, if the Thunder, I'll tell you what, if the Thunder end up getting something like 69, 70 wins, I personally think it will have to be Shea.
Well, speaking of Shea,
I imagine he's 2nd. I think I know who's first then.
Yeah, so Shea Gilgeous-Alexander is number 2.
He's either 1 or 2.
He's been referred to as the love child of Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. He has been Very.
Yeah.
He's been a very.
I guess.
He's been insane. A guy who was drafted 13th or 14th by the Charlotte Hornets, traded to the Clippers, and they used him in a trade to get Paul George and something which did not end up working for them, and they're still going to feel the effects of it at draft time, which is even funnier.
But can I also say, just on Shea, he's playing fantastic. Last year he was fantastic. He deserved that MVP, but people, it's not better than 2016 Steph Curry. What are we doing?
That was unanimous. Steph might not be the greatest player of all time, but he probably had the greatest MVP season of all time.
Yeah.
In terms of the fact that no one else was voted by anyone to be MVP that year.
Yeah.
Everyone voted for Steph.
But Shea is playing awesome.
He's
Got to respect
brilliant.
him.
And at number one, it's the guy who just defies everything about basketball. It's Nikola Jokic on the Denver Nuggets.
Nikola Jokic is so funny to me, because he's in the top 3 of MVP voting every time.
Yeah.
And I think most people would have, even though he's won multiple MVPs, would have him like a 2-3 spot.
Yes.
But then you go and look at his stats. And you're like, bro, how's this guy not just number one every single time?
I saw something. He scored like 27 or so points the other day, or maybe it was today, on like 7 shot attempts.
Madness.
I was like, sorry? Like, that doesn't make any sense.
Nikola Jokic is like... And he's totally the antithesis of American basketball. Like, American basketball is fast-paced, athletic, quick, let's go. Nikola Jokic and also Luka Doncic, who you could almost say is a guard version of Nikola Jokic.
Absolutely.
And it's probably I'm going to say, the closest thing we have in this league to Larry Bird. Like those... those guys, they play at their own pace.
Yeah.
They play a little bit slower, and it stuffs every defender up.
Yeah.
Because every defender wants you to stay at the same pace. Like when I'm defending somebody in basketball, which actually, by the way, just side note, actually played in my school's old boys game. Yeah, we won by a point.
Way.
And I almost ruined it by taking the most selfish 3 of all time. Luckily, one of the other old guys got a rebound, made the lab, and we're good.
Thank God for that.
Yeah, but when you're playing basketball, when you're defending somebody, like as you get to higher and higher levels, if you play at the exact same pace the entire time, whether that's slow or really fast, it becomes really easy to defend.
Yeah. Because
you know what that person's going to do and you know how to adjust to it.
Yeah.
Nikola Jokic and Luka Doncic have mastered changing pace.
Yeah.
If you can master changing pace in basketball, you have something.
Yeah, they know when to go all out. Or
same as Shea. That's why he draws so many fouls.
Yeah.
Because he'll go from fast to slow back to fast again. You jump, you hit him, it's done.
Yeah.
And don't give me the foul merchant crap.
No.
Like let's not be as casual as that, guys. Come on.
So to round up the top 10, just so you don't forget, Tyrese Maxey of the Philadelphia 76ers at 10, Jalen Duren at the Detroit Pistons at number 9, Giannis Antetokounmpo of the Milwaukee Bucks at number 8, Alperen Sengun of the Houston Rockets at number 7, Isaiah Hardenstein at 6 of the Oklahoma City Thunder, Cade Cunningham of the Detroit Pistons at number 5, Austin Reeves of the LA Lakers at number 4, Luka Doncic of the LA Lakers at number 3, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander of the OKC Thunder at number 2, and Nikola Jokic of the Denver Nuggets at 1.
And how about we do this very quickly? If you give me the list.
Sure thing, man.
Each of us are going to quickly go through this list and put it in the order that we would have it.
Oh, shit. Okay, well, you can go first.
So I'm going to go Hartenstein at 10.
Yep.
I'm going to have Reeves at 9.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to have Jalen Duren at 8.
Right.
I'm going to have Tyrese Maxey at 7. I'm going to have Sengun at 6. I'm going to have Giannis at 5.
Right.
I'm going to have Cade Cunningham at 4.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to go Doncic 3, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander 2, and Jokic 1. That would be my list of those 10.
And for me, who in my opinion doesn't count in this matter, Hardenstein at 10, Reeves at 9, Sengun at 8. I'd probably have Duren at 7.
Yep.
Maxey at 6, Giannis at 5. And then who am I thinking? Yeah, Cade at 4, Doncic, Shai, not Nikola. You want your 3-2-1.
Yeah.
So very similar to yours. But that's the NBA right now. Go and watch it. It'll be.
There'll be plenty of games.
There'll be more players being added to that list and a few of those guys dropping out of that list as the season goes on.
True.
As we move on to more American sport in the NFL, it was Thanksgiving week last week in the States, and so there were 3 games on Thanksgiving Day. The Detroit Lions continuing the tradition of losing at home on Thanksgiving by going down to the Packers 31-24. The Cowboys actually get a home win, and all the football fans cheered because they beat the Chiefs 31-28.
They did.
The one team I'd be happy for the Cowboys to beat, and then the Bengals absolutely ran right on the Ravens 32-14.
They did.
And then on the Friday night game, the Bears beat the Eagles 24-15. The Bears are 9-3 now. They're clearly on.
It isn't the same old Bears, man.
No, Caleb Williams, he's that guy. A lot of people were scared because he painted his nails. It doesn't mean he can't be a good football player. Good to see that he's showing everyone that he always had what it took to be a top quarterback, and do this on the Bears is no mean feat. Because
or do this on the Eagles is no mean feat.
Well, I mean, to be the player.
To be the player on the Bears. Sorry, my bad.
Because the Bears have drafted many quarterbacks before him who had maybe not as much hype, but had a lot of promise, and they weren't able to turn it around. Guys like Justin Fields and Mitchell Trubisky, and the list goes on.
Yes, very true.
But the games which were played today, the Jaguars, huge win over the Titans, 25-3. The Jets get a rare win, this time over the Falcons, 27-24. The Panthers beat the Rams 31-28. They're actually in a very good position right now, being led by Bryce Young, former Alabama quarterback, I think a former Heisman winner, I want to say.
And former number 1 pick.
Yes. The Dolphins, a win for them. They beat the Saints 21-17. The Bucks get a win over the Cardinals 20-17. The 49ers beat the Browns 26-8. Not a great home start for Shader Sanders.
We're going to pause here for a second because I'm going to have to admit something real quick.
You've got a result wrong here?
No, I got a result right. Myles Garrett, it is week 13, is on 19 sacks.
Jesus.
The record of a season is held by both TJ Watt of my Steelers and Michael Strahan, who played for the Giants, at 22.5.
Yeah.
It was week 13. Myles Garrett, I hate saying it because I love TJ Watt, but at the moment, Myles Garrett is the best pass rusher in the league, and I'm not sure it's close.
And that would include playoff games, right?
No, that's regular season.
So he has a very good chance of matching that.
Oh, he's going to. If he keeps going, he's going to beat it. He's going to beat it. I just hope he doesn't beat it against the Steelers, which, with the luck we've been having, might be.
Well, that'd be very funny. The Texans beat the Colts. A big win for the Texans, a big loss for the Colts, 20-16. My Minnesota Vikings, Jesus Christ, 26-0 loss to the Seattle Seahawks in the season now. For Dylan, they took on the Bills, his Steelers, 26-7 loss. And a little fact you've put here is the Steelers gave up the most running yards by a team in Pittsburgh since 1975.
Can I just say, half-time, we were up 7-3.
So that's a second half collapse.
Absolute second half collapse. And I said last week, that the Bears game was the first time I really looked at Coach Tomlin and was like, hey, man, what are we doing? Yeah. This game, I was definitely looking at Coach Tomlin being like, what are you doing? Like, you can have the coordinators and stuff who really didn't make adjustments. But, man, Tomlin, I don't know what's going to happen at the end of this year.
Yeah.
I still don't think he'll be gone. I think they'll redo everything else except for him again. But if it happens again,
then you have to
I think you have to change it.
Well, unfortunately, one of the hottest coaches in college football has moved to a different college in Lane Kiffin, leaving Ole Miss.
He's moved to LSU
in the middle of the season,
which is where his daughter's boyfriend is playing.
Yeah, I brought that up before they played.
Yeah,
a few weeks ago.
But
which is a huge to move to another SEC team in the middle of the season when you're doing better than LSU and Ole Miss will be in the college football playoff. Quite funny. Yeah. I don't think that the college football playoff isn't confirmed yet, but we will be talking about that
we will
as it goes on.
Because that's at least 12 teams and not the 300 that's in these bloody conferences.
And shout out to Ohio State for beating Michigan for the first time in years. Although
they go pretty back and forth though.
Although I thought it was a bit Michigan, I think was a bit stupid. The players were essentially after they had lost and showed no defense all game, defended the pitch against the Ohio State players on the sideline so they wouldn't plant a flag there.
No, it wasn't the Michigan players. It was actually Ohio State's coach himself.
No, but you see a photo of all the Michigan players.
Really? Because the video I saw was Ohio State's coaching staff stopping Ohio State from planting
maybe
the flag.
I did see that, but I only saw the Michigan players trying to like protect their field. It's like, you didn't protect your field during the game. What gives you the right to protect it after the game? Win the fucking game, okay?
Yeah. But can I just, because I got to get this out.
No.
We're going to stay on the Steelers for a second here because I can. Bloody hell. What, like, offensively, can we get some our bloody playmakers out there? Pat Fryermuth has the chance to be one of the best tight ends in the league, and he's barely out there because Arthur Smith, our offensive coordinator, you want to play Jonnu Smith. Get him out of there, put Fryermuth on more. He can block too way better. Darnell Washington needs to play more. That dude's a tank. Holy crap. We've talked about him. And then on defense, look, can we stop a run game? Frick's sake. Anyway, besides the point, man, I think we're going to have a total overhaul of the Steelers coaching staff again, and I bet you they'll keep Tomlin on, but you've got to start asking questions. You've got to start asking questions.
And that is your weekly Pittsburgh Steelers rant by Dylan Courtney right here.
I still love my team, man. I still love my team.
Auckland, New Zealand. And the other game, the Chargers beat the Raiders 31-14, and the Commanders took on the Broncos today. Do you have the score for me, Mr. Courtney?
So, when I last looked at this before we started recording, it was in overtime.
Oh, jeez.
It was in overtime. And the Broncos win again,
by
27-26.
The merchants of winning by one score.
Yep.
The Denver Broncos, everyone. and on the Davis podcast comes out in the afternoon. You get to watch Patriots taking on the Giants. And a bit of a fun game. As we move on to the only international rugby union test of note. And the
last one for the year.
My goodness gracious me. South Africa versus Wales at the Millennium, 73-0.
I know we talked about this last week, but we're going to talk about it again. I know they had players missing because of the stupid rules they have in the Northern Hemisphere for their club teams. How has Wales fallen this far from grace?
I know the Welsh Union is in a bit of a shambles right now. I think people up there are taking the piss out of it. I think they're trying to get rid of a team to save costs, but it doesn't seem like that's the best decision to make. But this match will be overshadowed by what Eben Etzebeth decided to do in the 79th minute.
And poke somebody in the eye.
While you're up 73-0, get in a little bit of scrap and gouge someone's eye. I'm expecting at least a 10-week ban for Eben. A lot of people are calling for him never to play for the Springboks again after this.
Come on.
Which, I mean, he might not be at the next World Cup anyway. He's getting on a bit. But not a great look for him. He's a veteran of that South African team. He should be someone you can idolize. But why would you idolize a guy gouging? I'm not going to say other All Blacks we've all idolized have done worse things.
I think we need to put this in a little bit of context though. Like, it's not like Etzebeth. This is the first time I've ever seen him do something like this.
Didn't he do something?
I've seen him push and shove people.
Yeah.
But
this is the first really top. Why the fuck did you do that thing?
Yeah. No, you've got to say that, right? You've got to say, why the fuck did you do that?
I think it's more like, why the fuck are you doing that when you're 73-0 up?
Yeah, absolutely.
You're beating the clock.
Yeah.
Maybe Rassie was like, guys, we haven't had a red card yet. We need a red card. So he was like, okay, I'll take one for the team. But
bloody hell.
It's ridiculous. But we'll see what happens.
And also, if I'm not mistaken, Eben Etzebeth comes from a family of bar fighters.
Oh, look at him.
Yeah, no, actually, I say this, I think I remember hearing the story. He was actually a late bloomer in terms of growth. He was actually a small guy for quite a while and then just shot up.
And he's a giant. So.
Yeah, and he's huge. So, but yeah, he comes from a family of bar fighters. And in South Africa, that's different. So,
yeah.
So
absolutely. But that's it for the International Rugby until the Six Nations kicks off next year. As we move on to the Premier League.
Yes.
Man City. 3-2 win over the Leeds. Sunderland, another win at home for them, 3-2 against Bournemouth. Brentford, a good win for them over Burnley, 3-1. Newcastle, a huge win away at Everton, 4-1. Spurs, it just keeps on going wrong for Thomas Frank. It's a 2-1 loss at home to Fulham. Man United get a much-needed win over Crystal Palace, 2-1. And Liverpool, a much-needed win for them. Alexander Isak scores his first Premier League goal for the Reds as they beat West Ham 2-0 away from home.
Yep.
Aston Villa beat Wolves 1-0. They're still on just 2 points after 13 games. Brighton beat Forest 2-0 away at the City Ground. And this morning, Chelsea and Arsenal played out a 1-1 draw. This was first versus second.
Yeah.
As a result, Chelsea are now down in third. Man City have overtaken them into second. Arsenal got a 5-point gap on the Citizens after 13 games. And last week in the Champions League, Chelsea absolutely thumped Barcelona 3-0 at Stamford Bridge. There was an Araujo red card early in the first half. Esteval, I like it. One of the best youngsters in the world. That's the triumph Chelsea have found for him. He's been sensational. When he was first scouted as Endrick's teammate at Palmeiras.
Yes.
So he's a year younger than Endrick, and so he was in the same youth teams. He was doing the same stuff. He was seen as the other big prospect from Palmeiras who could be just as good as Endrick. And Endrick went to Real Madrid, struggled for game time. Esteval joined Chelsea when he turned 18 this summer, was actually at Palmeiras at the Club World Cup first, played against Chelsea, scored against Chelsea, even was already gone. He was already going to Chelsea, and he's been brilliant for them on the right. Chelsea fans love him. He's been seen as the kind of the age relevant rival to Lamine Yamal, which is really cool to see another rivalry start up. We had Haaland and Mbappe. We now got Yamal and Esteval. And apart from that, City lost at home to your favourite German outfit, Bayer Leverkusen. 2-0.
Up the work south, baby.
And PSV smashed Liverpool at Anfield 4-1. They really needed that win over West Ham. And Arsenal bet Bayern 3-1, and PSG bet Spurs 5-3 in a bit of a mad game of football. But Premier League doesn't stop this week because midweek football is coming up, and match day 14 will all be played through Wednesday through Friday. All the games starting at 8:30 and 9:15. The Friday game starting at 9. None of these ties are massive by any means, but Newcastle versus Spurs will be a big game as Thomas Frank's job will probably be on the line. As Newcastle are a good team and Spurs desperately need more results.
Can I just say, if Thomas Frank is gone from Spurs, I will happily, after losing to Southampton 3-2, fire Leicester City's manager right now and bring Thomas Frank in.
Who is your manager at the moment?
Martin Cifuentes.
Cifuentes, because it was who was it? Who did you guys sign in the Prem and then fire?
Oh, so we had. To be fair, we played.
It was Van Nistelrooy. It was Van Nistelrooy.
Yeah, it was Van Nistelrooy. Yeah. Nah. Sorry, mate.
Well, as we move on to the final thing today, WWE had one of its big pay-per-views, Survivor Series at Petco Park, and we are going to talk about it briefly. I have a point to bring up near the end.
Yes, you do, because you're always talking about this.
Yeah, but Survivor Series, basically, last couple of years, Survivor Series has been home to War Games matches, which is essentially a massive 2-ring cage where opponents are split into teams of 5. You have one person from each team start the match together, then someone coming in, and I think the first intervals after 5 minutes, then in 2.5 or 3 minute intervals, another person from each team comes out one by one. Then when everyone's in the ring, they lock the cage and War Games begins. You can only win by pinfall or submission, and if you escape the cage, your team forfeits. So it kicked off the women's War Games where the face team, the good girl team, good guys team of Rhea Ripley, AJ Lee, Charlotte Flair, Alexa Bliss, and Io Sky defeated a team of Becky Lynch, Asuka, Kairi Sane, Nia Jax, and Lash Legend. This one was slow to start, but built it up quite nicely near the end. But it was great to see AJ Lee back in it, although she didn't do much apart from submit Becky Lynch to take the win. Rhea Ripley getting a massive pop as always. Charlotte Flair, I was quite impressed by her. Always forget how good she is. One of the best women.
Whether we like it or whether you like it or not, because I think she's been over pushed at times.
I think at the beginning of the year she had been, but I think she redeemed it with her tag run with Alexa Bliss. I think it was a brilliant pairing to make.
Yep.
After that, you had a match which a lot of people weren't too happy about, but I was actually quite happy watching it.
Yeah, I was
and that was
happy
John
about the
Cena
result too.
Defending his Intercontinental title against the man he bet for it, Dominic Mysterio, in his last ever premium live
dumb.
event.
I said retain. I mean to
win it back.
To win it back. Dominic Mysterio
so
to win it back.
John Cena's last pay-per-view premium live event match. Saturday night's main event technically isn't a pay-per-view, and this was a match which I think a lot of people were complaining that John Cena's last match on pay-per-view just became a part of the Judgment Day lore and he did a job to the Judgment Day, but I think this match was good. John wrestled very well. Dominic's a very good wrestler.
Yeah.
He's clearly, one of the best heels in WWE right now. He walks out with Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez. They get involved. Dom does a brilliant job of faking a shoulder injury, and to the point where everyone thought he was, out of the match. And then you see John Cena attacked in the ring by Roxanne and Raquel. And obviously, John Cena can't face women in matches, but he can still put them over if he takes a finisher. Roxanne hit it with the pop rocks and all of that. And I think John probably wants to put over as many people as he can. I think a lot of people
I was about to
forgetting.
say, I think that says more about who he is now.
Yeah.
Like I said to you, before we started this recording, Dominic Mysterio is going to be one of the biggest heels in the WWE.
He might turn face sooner and later, though.
But he's going to be one of the biggest wrestlers for at least from what's lining up to be the next 10 years at least.
Yeah.
So, John, like that to me made sense. Yeah. I actually really love they did that. And of course, the returning Liv Morgan.
Yes, but before Liv Morgan came out, the other members of the Judgment Day, JD McDonough and Finn Balor, they came in and tried to do some shenanigans. But I think it was still like John Cena almost overcoming, 6 people to win a
doing
battle,
a John
to retain
Cena
a
type
belt.
of thing,
Yeah, Super Cena type shit.
Super Cena.
But it very clearly is sport entertainment and not wrestling when you're watching WWE, and I know it turns a lot of people off. Like, it's like, you watch that, it's more sports entertainment. It's still wrestling, but it's definitely sports entertainment, the way it happens. And then Liv Morgan comes out unexpectedly. Everyone thinks she's turned on Dominic Mysterio, goes and embraces John Cena, but pulls a deadpan expression and ends up low-blowing him, helping Dominic regain his Intercontinental title. Liv Morgan's been out with a shoulder injury for a few months, so it was her coming back. But a lot of people are like, oh, how they sacrificed my GOAT. I was like, yeah, he's the greatest of all time, but he's retiring for a reason. He's almost 50. You see what? I think there are more things about his retirement tour this year which should be criticized in this match. I think the heel turn was a massive. It was a great idea, but it just feels like more and more that it was done.
It was not executed right.
It was done for a moment.
Yeah,
they did it for a moment, and they had no idea what to do afterwards because I don't know if they knew if The Rock was actually going to be involved. They didn't expect Travis Scott to be such a shit worker.
Yeah.
And if he's not a wrestler, and clearly, like, I still think this match. I had fun watching it. Like, I didn't think, like, it doesn't have to be super, super serious. A lot of people were comparing it to Sting's retirement match last year where he and Darby Allin, I think, won a tag match against, I forgot who it was. And I think he was, but that was definitely more of a wrestling match, although it did start off with Sting's actual sons coming out as older versions of him and actually being involved in the tag match at one stage.
That's kind of sick, though.
But that's kind of sick. But Sting's been around with wrestling
ages.
Since the 80s and retired last year.
Yeah.
As more of a, and that's, I'm not undermining John Cena at all. He's carried WWE on his back for a while. But there's still one more match to go. I think a lot of people were just expecting John to win every single match, but that's not the goal of retirement tours most of the time.
And that's not what wrestling is either.
Like putting people over. People are going to remember Dominic Mysterio beating John Cena. Yes, he had help, but it's John's. Again, you could play, oh, you made him lose. But it's like, yeah, but he had to fight off 6 other people, and he almost got it at the end. So I don't see...
Like I've, wrestling is stories. Like it's creating a story. It's an art of the story in the ring.
It's how you create the story in the ring. No, like you see some promotions where the storytelling's done by the actual wrestling itself.
Yes,
by the matches. If you want to watch, wrestling matches which are told by the ring, you watch an All Japan match from the 90s. Like you watch a Masaru or a Kobashi fight, but WWE does it. The storylines are done, through several weeks of television.
Yes,
through segments, through interference in matches, through that, and everyone has their preference.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everyone's
which we'll talk about at the end.
We are going to talk about,
but we'll move on to the next one.
Yes.
Stephanie Vaquer. Did Nikki Bella challenge Stephanie Vaquer on the day? Or was it already set up?
No,
I can't remember.
Nikki Bella and her had teamed up, and then Nikki turned on her because she wanted a title shot.
Yeah, that's right.
This was a fine match. Like, there's, it was a normal match. I think at times I forgot this was a world title match.
Yeah.
But Stephanie Vaquer still leaning into being a champion. I think if you have her in a world title match on a pay-per-view against someone who's maybe higher up the card at the moment than Nikki Bella, then it will feel maybe a little bit more like a championship match. And I'm not criticizing
You've got to
Nikki
keep
Bella.
that momentum with Stephanie Vaquer rolling.
Exactly. But Nikki Bella's a legend, and she's came off after several years not wrestling. Like, she's
and
had
looks
a kid.
fantastic.
Absolutely. And it's awesome that she's back in the ring.
Yeah.
And
also, Devil's Kiss on the announce table was a madness.
Oh, yeah. And it wasn't the only Devil's Kiss of the match as well. But yeah, I think it was a fine match to have on the card. I don't like the whole thing of having 4 or 5 match cards. Like, bring back when there was double as many matches. Like, I think it's probably a cost cutting thing, but come on, like, you can have more than 4 matches on a Survivor Series card, even if 2 matches take an hour each. And speaking of the last one, the men's War Games match, the heel team, which was Division's Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed, with Logan Paul, Drew McIntyre, and Mr. Lawsuit Brock Lesnar up against the face team of Jimmy and Jey Uso, Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, and CM Punk. Now, this match definitely started off a lot quicker than the women's match. CM Punk came out first and was met by Bronson Reed. I think it was a really good pairing.
Yeah.
We know how good all these wrestlers are. I've never really watched a lot of Brock Lesnar in the ring, I'll be completely honest, but I was... he did pull off some good spots. It was the first match he'd ever been involved in with another person, like in a team or a tag, since 2004 in WWE. I believe the last...
Did not know it was that long.
Apparently, after that, the last time he'd actually wrestled in some form of team capacity with anyone was in New Japan in 2005 or 2006 with Shinsuke Nakamura, which is a very funny stat to have.
That is quite hilarious.
But during this match, CM Punk was attacked by a mystery person who climbed into the ring, hit CM Punk with the stomp, and then went out, which is Seth Rollins' key move. But Seth Rollins, as we all know, has just had shoulder surgery. There's no way he's nailing that cage. And so it wasn't Seth Rollins. It is...
I still think it was. I'm not going to lie.
Rollins. It's not Seth Rollins. It's the new member of Division. And in my opinion, it's Austin Theory. Austin Theory is back. He's joined, obviously Grayson Waller's with the New Day. Austin Theory, I think a lot of people expect him to come back as a face. Well, maybe he still comes out as a face, but he's attacked CM Punk, somewhat helping Division.
Austin Theory is also a guy that has a lot of talent.
Yeah.
But we're yet to see that come to fruition.
I think it's because they didn't trust him at first. Before Triple H fully took over, he was seen as the next guy. He had an American title. I think the booking, because they tried to have him cash in on the US title at one stage with the Money in the Bank. Like, why would you do that on the US title? But I think it's him. I think a lot of people, I think he was expected to be in this match, but for whatever reason he wasn't. So I think this is the way they introduce him, whether we find out on Raw today when this comes out, if it is him or if it's later.
I guess we'll see what happens.
But I don't think it's Seth Rollins, and a lot of people say, "Oh, it'll be Chris Jericho." Jericho can't climb a cage like that anymore.
No.
Like, I expect Jericho will come back at the Rumble. They'll do the countdown and they'll play the old Y2J song because he's most likely leaving AEW near the end of the year, returning to WWE for one last run. Which I mean, he was only really in Ring of Honor with AEW before going away, but I think it makes sense for him to come back to WWE for one last run. He'll want to. I think he had a lot of bad PR at the last bit of AEW Ring of Honor by just taking up too much time, being in his 50s and whatnot. But he'll go back to WWE. He'll make some noise and he'll probably retire somewhat. But I've got a point here that I want to say. Only a few weeks ago, AEW ran a special episode of Dynamite, which is their flagship show. Every Wednesday, it's Thursdays afternoon here. You can watch it on Disney Plus via ESPN. They have Blood and Guts, which is essentially the exact same thing as
Survivor Series.
as War Games.
As War Games,
and I might have to say AEW's Blood and Guts is a better than War Games if you want wrestling, proper wrestling.
I got told that as well. This
is not trying to be like a loyalist or whatever, or people. It's not, but people in wrestling some people get really attached to a certain promotion.
Yeah.
And it's like, I guess, but like, you don't have to demean everything the other promotion does. You should only be so loyal to something.
It's good to have, like we've said on this before, it's good to have healthy competition.
It's good, but
we've said that.
But Blood and Guts, though, I've watched the women's Blood and Guts one, and comparing it to the women's War Games match from yesterday, it was very much AEW's been wrestling and then WWE's been sports entertainment. The women at WWE and AEW were being busted open in the first 5 minutes. You know, the spots were like they were bringing in more like the WWE weapons. They bring in like the chain and the bin and the kendo stick, and then AEW, it's like they take it up and up and up. Like there's like a barbed wire bat or something, and it's not even like extreme by any means. Extreme hardcore wrestling, it's a lot worse than that.
Yes,
but it's clearly more emphasis, I think, on like the in-ring wrestling as well.
Yeah.
And that's not putting down what the women did or the men did in WWE yesterday. But I think very clearly for something which like the in-ring stuff, if it's more entertaining from the actual wrestling perspective, you watch AEW and they're starting they have a tournament every year called the Continental Classic where the winner becomes the Continental Champion. That started last week with, I think it was, I forgot what match it was, but you have some of their best wrestlers competing in it. It's if you can catch it, it'll be a really good time.
I haven't watched
I'm
enough
gonna force
AEW.
you.
Yeah,
at one stage, at one stage you'll come over to my house, or I'll come over here when we're not recording, and I will put it on.
That's fine by me.
And I think because I know you will love it, it's just need to find the chance for you because I don't even watch it regularly because I can't because of work.
Because exactly, and for me it's work as well. I'm never now. When I was younger, I may have, but now I'm not going to hate on competition. And AEW's clearly proven to be really, really solid competition.
Oh, it's great competition, and you know they're not afraid to change it up a little bit more than WWE. I think Samoa Joe's their world champion now.
Yes.
And they've crowned some new champions in other divisions as well. But I think if you can watch both, and you'll find which one. I think WWE it's clearly one which is very much built over virality, over big viral moments, which get big social media attention,
and kind of always has been.
AEW very much cares about what's in the ring and the overall long-term storyline. I think AEW do a brilliant job as well. I know WWE hit it off right with the Bloodline, but feels like it was almost a once-in-a-generation storyline for them to hit it off with the Bloodline as well as they did.
Yeah.
But everything they were doing in NXT the second half of the last decade is very comparable to what's happening in AEW in some ways now. And I think that's why, give it a watch if you can. There's some great wrestlers on both sides.
You know, like you talk about the wrestling side of AEW and stuff. The only thing I worry about is, of course, for the longevity of all their wrestlers. Because if you're going towards the more extreme, and that's what the audience is getting used to, that means you have to up it every single time.
But I think a lot of people aren't also tuning into AEW just for it to get more extreme. And I think because it doesn't happen all the time. But I think they have wrestlers, and that's just their shtick. Like, I don't want to say shtick, but they're going to get busted open more often. And
Darby Allin.
Darby Allin's a freak. But WWE, they can't bust up as open. I know that. So I think if it was more freedom in WWE, you'd see guys covered in claret all the time. I think the biggest, I think it was definitely claret in the men's war games, but in the last year when CM Punk and Drew McIntyre faced off in Hell in a Cell, that was the most bloody WWE had gotten in a hot minute, and that was sensational.
Yeah.
And I think actually WWE lacked a feud like that this year. There was no feud as hate-filled and as entertaining in WWE in 2025 than CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre in 2024. But that was brilliant, and it was always going to be hard to beat. But I feel like I'm rambling about this too much. Go watch both if you can. You know.
Yeah. Don't
take our opinions.
Don't be a hater. Go watch both.
Watch War Games and then watch Blood and Guts.
Open mind, see what happens,
and figure out which one you like. But apart from that,
we're done.
We're done.
And you would throw it right on my foot.
That wasn't intentional. That ends another episode of the CouchSide Sports Report, brought to you by the CouchSide Network. I am Simon Cooper. That is Dylan Courtney. Find us everywhere at CouchSide.network, Instagram, TikTok, and we're obviously here on YouTube and Spotify. Like and follow if you haven't. Comment if you have an opinion and disagree or agree with anything we said, but be civil.
Yeah, don't be a dick.
Don't be a dick. Thank you very much for having me once again here, Dylan.
Oh, thank you for joining on,
Two more regular episodes of the Sport Report before we call it quits for the end of the year. Like we said, a special
Christmas break,
and also a special episode unrelated to those two about the All Blacks. Hopefully, we're recording it later this week. Be out on the weekend if we can be bothered. But two more weeks after this, and then we'll be taking a nice, well-earned summer break right after episode 40. So yeah, thank you, Dylan, once again.
Thank you, mate.
I'll let you sing us off with what we always say at the end of this podcast. Thank you very much for watching.
Let's get out of here. CouchSide out.
CouchSide out.